yes, the good old days, when education was taught on blackboards and primarily with textbooks. You remember it well. Bring a number 2 pencil and an eraser. The intent then, though, was the same as it is now. Educate. Produce students that can enter the world prepared and fundamentally sound. What has changed is technology. We send homework and follow up with parents via email. That's the natural evolution that parallels the world. But the real genius does not come from computers, but from a hungry human mind. Enter in some new ways of looking at learning. In Wisconsin, they are doing just that at 3 different schools. The Flight Academy in Waukesha, North Elementary and Lakeview Technology Academy in Kenosha. They move from elementary to high school, and they are different because of the methodology of how they teach.
We put the proposal forward and it got approved, and the next thing I know, we're standing in this amazing space and we're servicing students and learners in a completely different way than we'd done in the past in this system.
Conceptually speaking, you can teach more with motivated students, and motivated students evolve when they have ownership in the curriculum. Create a culture where the projects strike some intrinsic chord and you have magic.
They're more excited to start a project or to start whatever it is they're going to work on that day because they feel like they have more of a say in the fact that they're even doing that at that moment.
Once you have that, you feel responsibility. You're no longer doing homework because you have to. You are working towards something that has your attention, that now lives inside you in and out of your school time.
It's more personalized, and for me, I you get more ahead, I think. Like in English, I'm doing like a pre-AP, more like a high school class almost.
The question is, will curiosity take over the soul if you are allowed the freedom to explore on your own? And will that ultimately make a more diligent student because they're doing it their way?
I really like the freedom of it. You don't have as much classes, which gives you more time to work on your homework and other projects and stuff like that.
We're really intentional about setting up spaces that kids are comfortable in. It's interesting that the school setting is so completely different and far removed from most other settings that we immerse ourselves in. When you think about your home or somewhere else, you don't necessarily have these bright lights on you constantly all the time, at all hours of the day. You have different options of where are you going to sit or do whatever it is that you're doing, and how are you going to interact with your space. We did a lot of research about the way that you can break up the space on walls with lines or color, those kinds of things.
It is a progressing awareness that, like life, we all have different unique tools and cues we use and respond to. Whoever masters the best system wins, but you have to figure out the system that works in your head.
What gets me going in the morning is just knowing that I'm going to have teachers there to support me. They're all nice. Every teacher in the school is awesome. But in Flight Academy, they have so much support over you. They're not standing up there in front of the entire class lecturing you about studies, and then they go, sometimes sit at their desk and let you work.
My interest in developing something different with kids stems from the fact that I'm a mom. I have 3 children of my own, all of which learn very differently. And so I knew that I wanted to do something for kids that would be individualized and personalized for each one of my students. Similar to how I treat my own children at home when I work with them on schoolwork, I also wanted to provide those kind of opportunities for our students here at Horning.
If you make it a mission that we all learn through a different lens, you embrace the possibility of each student. You understand that he or she has potential brilliance in their own way. And if you can unlock that, you can change a person by changing their self-esteem.
We're moving out of a knowledge economy now into an innovation economy, or an economy where ideas and creativity and commitment are really the differentiating skills. Our schools aren't designed to do that. And so it's time for us to back up and ask a really basic question, and that is, if we didn't have schools, would we create what we have? And I have yet to run into anybody who with a straight face would say, absolutely, this is perfect. What we have is really well matched for what we need in society, or for that matter, what we need for our economy.
So they gather at every level, making sure each student is served, but more importantly, making sure they serve themselves.
They have a lot more time available in their day for them to design themselves what they're going to be using that time for. As advisors, we help them to set goals and to help them think about how they might schedule their days, their weeks, and their terms, but they have a lot of choice in how they're doing that as well. And I think that's the main thing, is just having the choice and being able to kind of structure their time and their learning much more than in a more traditional setting.
And if kids can find a more effective way to learn now, think what they can do as they mature into adulthood.
We're in a position now in education where we have to prepare learners for an unknown future. We have no idea what the world is going to look like 20 years from now, and yet somehow we have to educate people and young individuals to be able to function and contribute to that world.
And we looked at a lot of schools that were being built in Europe and knew that we wanted to create some kind of learning space that was innovative, that would allow our kids to learn in different ways and in ways that was best for them.
Through it all, they want what's best for the next generation, and they want kids to know that there is no ceiling, only dreams.
And I think that we have the opportunity to really showcase that an educational system that hasn't changed or had major reform in so many years has the opportunity to really bring the learner, who education is supposed to be all about, into the conversation.
Life to the Max is brought to you by LifeTouch, photography for a lifetime.